Blog Talk Radio.
Let's do this.
War room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the hot block commander. Give it to you how you want it in the 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Bold with the topics, sort of like some rebels when it's game time. They like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerate to speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4 for 26, so the war in Kuwait. It's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.
What up, good folks out there in Radio Land? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you as usual by War Room Sports on that WRS Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Devin McMillan. I'm at the round table as usual with my bros. We got Jimmy the Blueprint Williams, and in just about a second, B. Austin to join the fray. The NBA Finals have been pretty good thus far, and we're going to break it all down for you. We'll also talk about a few other things that caught our interest this week in the world of sports. So keep it locked right here. And if you want to get in on the live conversation, join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/the War Room, or join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 45 minutes and give us your thoughts on the NBA Finals when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech hotline. That number, as usual, is 323-410-0012. But before we get started, you know what we got to do. We got to make sure that we get you to remember to make War Room Sports Podcast Network a big part of your week. When we're not live on the air, make sure you visit warroomsports.com, click on the WRS Podcast Network tab, or listen on the War Room Sports mobile app or on iTunes. You'll find some of the best shows the web has to offer, including our show, The War Room. Then you got the Broad Street Line with Roy and Chris, After Further Review with the Mayor, the Tissue and the Tape hip-hop show with Phil and Savad, Sports Trap Radio with Brandon and Anthony, the Mad Scientist Sports Lab with Nick Ficarelli, and a whole lot more. It is not just sports. Sports, entertainment, lifestyle, fitness. We have it all here at the War Room Sports Podcast Network. So make sure you tune in all week, every week. You can also check the listings over at fatsradio.com. That's PHATZ radio.com for airtimes of all your favorite WRSP and sports shows. Just the sports shows are all syndicated over on Fats Radio, including our show, The War Room, which airs over there a few times a week. So make sure you check those listings. Jimmy, what up?
What's really good, man? Listen, on top of what you said, yo, check out everything we do on our mobile app, or just go to warroomsports.com because, like Dev said, we got everything. We got Court Vision in audio and video. We got the Brothers of the Watch Show, audio, video. With football approaching, we're going to have Field Vision and audio and video. So we doing all kinds of stuff, man, putting out a lot of quality content. So make sure you check it out. And also, we're looking for contributors, whether that be podcasting, whether that be you want to write, you got bars, whatever it is, man. warroomsports.com. I just had to say that real quick.
No doubt, no doubt. Definitely looking for contributors all the time. So, if you got aspirations to be in this business, this could be your stepping stone. We could get you,
or if you know somebody that knows somebody, that knows somebody, holler at us, man, because, we always looking. Anybody that can put out quality content. If you garbage, you know what I'm saying, you putting out garbage, then, keep to yourself. You don't want no garbage.
Even if you're putting out garbage, come holler at us and we can help you turn your garbage into some good stuff. So,
or just let you know that you're putting out garbage.
Yeah, or we'll just be honest with you, and then you can go work on your garbage by yourself.
The tone, leave your name, number, and a brief message.
Yo,
return your call.
What is B. Austin talking about right now?
Keep going.
All right, so look, man, it's a lot of stuff going on. I know it's a lot of stuff going on in the world of sports right now. So I think we should just jump right into it, man. Jimmy, let everybody out there know what happened this week while they were on the grind trying to get that money.
Absolutely. If you'd like a better TV experience than cable has to offer, including the NFL Sunday Ticket, go to our website, warroomsports.com. Click on the Direct TV logo and order a better TV experience at a discounted War Room Sports sign-up rate. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to have Direct TV.
You just got it.
A lot of interesting stories to talk about. The first one, and like we always say, man, we don't shy away from anything. Caitlyn Jenner is big in the news. But peep this story right here. There's a transgender MMA fighter, Fallon Fox, and we talked about Fallon Fox in the past, and you know, her desire to fight women. Now, she fought a woman in a match, and she injured her bad, and some headlines even said almost killed her. Although I think they were exaggerating a little bit.
Yeah.
She was very dominant. She was very dominant in her match, and she did nonetheless injure this woman. It was like not even a contest. She was so much stronger. And again, remember, I keep saying she, but it's a transgender. Was born a man, became a woman, and now is fighting in MMA and is being allowed to fight women. So this is an interesting topic right here. I'm definitely looking like, and it's funny because we talked about this before a show, but I didn't want you guys to give me your opinion because I'm really interested to see how you feel about this. And also anybody listening, whether you're listening live or on the podcast, let us know how you feel about this. It's an interesting topic. But Dev, let's start with you, Dev. What do you think about this?
Well, first, let me give for anybody out there who doesn't know all the information. Of course, Jimmy told you about the match. The woman she was fighting was named Tamika Brents. Fallon Fox defeated Brents by TKO at 2 minutes and 17 seconds into the first round of their match. Tamika Brent suffered a damaged orbital bone. That's the bone around your eye. That required 7 staples, not stitches, but staples. And she also received a concussion. And like Jimmy said, I've read some headlines that said, you know, she damn near killed this woman. And as soon as I read that, I agree with you. I thought it was a little exaggeratory. But at the same time, this is something because we did talk about this back when, you know, Fallon Fox first kind of popped up on the scene. And it's kind of a touchy situation because when you're talking with the LGBTQ community, you know, they try to defend a lot of things. And, you know, some things I definitely understand exactly what they're defending. But other things such as this one, it's a little bit touchy because even though you have a sex change, even though you identify as something that you weren't born as, like naturally, you know, you're still in that body. She's still, you know, men are still a little bit stronger than women, whether, you know, everybody out there wants to agree with that or not. You know, it's just a different dynamic. And for her to go out there and fight other women when she was originally a man, it could be a little bit unfair. And she's beaten a couple of people to bloody pulp so far. So the issue is going to keep coming up as long as they keep sanctioning her to fight.
Yeah, you're right, Dad, because the thing is, like, I don't care what anyone does. I don't really care about anyone's sexuality. But this is an interesting topic. Let me give you a comment from Maggie, who's also a contributor to our blog, which is warrumsports.com/blog. On Facebook, she says, "This is not right. This is a man beating a woman half to death. Once you go through puberty as a boy, there's no amount of hormone injections and breast implants that can reverse that. A transgender athlete shouldn't be allowed to compete against a woman." Now, that's her opinion. But
I'm a boy.
My thing is like, if she does end up killing someone, then what? Like, I understand their plight, and like I said, I don't care what you do. I really don't care. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about competition and you're talking about a sport such as this where people can get hurt, I just don't know about this, man. And,
yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward to hearing my brother B. Austin got to say about this. I know you got some opinions on this.
I have to agree. I have to agree with Maggie. You're born a boy. Your bone density doesn't change. Your muscular structure. I'm not sure whether the estrogen that's introduced in the body changes the muscle density and muscle structure, but I think it's quite obvious from the bouts that this person has had that they have an unfair advantage against female opponents. Whether they win or lose throughout the rest of their career versus women, you know, because you may find the exceptional female athlete that's out there, there's still an advantage that makes it unfair. And this is one that I have to say the Pink Mafia has to roll back your kick coverage on this one. They gotta get this person up out of female sports, and maybe you create a transgender league, a league of their own. I don't know.
You sound a little choppy. Listen, I was reading a story on this website called NowTheEndBegins.com, and they were reporting this. They were reporting it, and you know, somebody wrote a story on it, just basically reporting it. But there was an editor's note at the top of the story, and the editor had some pointed opinions. So I'm gonna read those. Quote: "There is no surgery available to change your gender. You are what you are born as. Men who become transgender and quote unquote convert to being a woman are still men with all the DNA, testosterone, and body strength that goes with it. Allowing a man to call himself a woman and then be allowed to get in a ring and fight an actual woman borders on criminal behavior. If MMA is smart, they will put an immediate stop to this nonsense right away." Okay. And everybody out there, I was quoting the editor. These are not my opinions. Not that, you know, I'm shying away from anything. It's just that the content of which he spoke on, I don't really know 100% if what he said was, you know, 100% accurate. It could be, maybe it's not. I'm just saying, I don't know about all that. I'm not a scientist. Yeah. So I
understand that, man. But it's just a very touchy, you know, subject and situation. But at the end of the day, man, people's lives are literally at stake. A lot can happen within the MMA world and the combat sport, man. So that's just my opinion. More studies have to be done. Matter of fact, yo, just stop it. You know what? Just stop it, man.
One more question I have about this, and this was raised on our Facebook page earlier. Shout out to Justin Bankers. He asked, with all the women in MMA knowing this, why the hell are they taking the fights against her anyway? So it's like everybody wants to test those waters, but then after they get their ass whooped, then they're complaining because this woman, Brents, was saying in a post-fight interview, she said, "I've never felt so overpowered in my life. I've fought a lot of women. I've never felt the strength that I felt in a fight I did that night." But you knew going in, so you wanted to test.
Here's the thing, right? For one, everything always comes back to money. I don't care what anyone says in life, or religious, everything in the world comes back to money. So if you're paid, that's one thing. And two, it's kind of like you have a built-in excuse. Like, she could be lying, but the fact of the matter is that's a built-in excuse. If I lose, guess what? You don't fight for the man. Like, yeah, like.
And if you win,
like, you know, so you're really in a no-lose situation, which is why you do it. And some just may not know until they feel that strength. Like, yo, she's still hitting like a Dexter, like a he, like.
So you're saying for the right price, anybody will step into that ring and get metro trained, like from a 54-year-old.
Listen, man.
Y'all young boys are gonna listen today.
Ted DiBiase taught me a valuable lesson as a young kid, man, and that's that everybody has a price, man. Shout out to Ted DiBiase for walking around with his slave Virgil, you know, putting the white supremacy in all the kids' heads. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But
hey, but do you remember the controversy back in 2013? Because Fallon Fox knocked somebody out in 39 seconds back in 2013, but it was revealed that she hadn't told the MMA community about the sex change operation that took place in 2006. So she got a thing for just beating up chicks.
Yo, maybe that's let me shut up. I'm about to get real deep, but I'm gonna chill. Before I say something that you know, pisses some of our listeners off. Anyway, man, let's move on. It's an interesting topic. I'll be you know, interested to see what some of our listeners have to say. So, you know, hit us up about that. Now, something that almost broke the internet this week. This is B. Austin told me, by the way. B. Austin always rode for this dude. Pause. Baron Davis
until this week
on First Take. My man is trying to bring back the Jerry curl. When I first sent the picture out, everybody was like, "Yo, this has to be a joke. This isn't real." But in fact, it is real. And in fact, if you go to his IG page, he's been promoting his Jerry curl for a little while now. What do you think about this, man?
Pass that move to Jerry curl.
Baron Davis, if you followed his career, I think about halfway through his basketball career, which is over. I'm not sure if he knows that or acknowledges it, but it's done. It's done. He became.
You better know that.
he became an artsy fartsy type of dude. And salute to him for realizing that life is beyond basketball. He wants to direct movies. He's already been instrumental in producing a few, and that's great. But yo, chill with this artsy fartsy trying to be a cool ass thespian stuff, man. Like, yo, some styles deserve to remain dead. You look like you have a wet raccoon on top of your head, homie. It's not a good look.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good look. I saw the thing, right? Here's my okay, man, Jen.
All I was going to say is that it's definitely not a good look to me either. Like it's not the worst hairdo that I've seen anyone wear, because I've seen Andrew Bynum wear something that's atrocious. I saw a picture today someone posted of Lionel Richie, and he may have had the worst hairdo I've ever seen an African American man have at one point. But the thing I was thinking about this, I was like, yo, he's Baron Davis, and all week he's been getting talked about on the internet streets. The fact, yo, so he kind of mission accomplished. Check that off. And we always talk about, like, what's the new root of all evil? It isn't money, it's attention, right?
It's attention.
So if that's the way you want to look at it, mission accomplished. I mean, I still think you a sucker, but mission accomplished.
Yeah, I saw the buzz building up because I was, not really on, but I was monitoring social media at the time, and I actually saw B. Austin talk about. I don't watch First Take like ever, and somebody in a group put us on to it, like, yo, Baron Davis is tripping with this hairstyle right now. So I saw people talking about it. So, I knew when people were wondering if it was real or not that it was. But, yo, Baron, he's definitely tripping. I mean, he is a Cali dude, so he just took it back to his roots, California, back in the 1980s. It looked like he about to say this.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Yeah, so shout out to Baron and his new haircut.
Yeah, man.
He's proud of it because, he's doing little Vine videos talking about good morning to the curl, good morning world. So I'm a good one of these, though.
You should be ashamed of yourself, the way you
carry yourself.
I'm glad you teed that up because it was coming from me. No, there's no excuse. I'm not giving no shout outs. I'm not saying anything positive towards Baron Davis, and you were one of my favorite. You were one of my favorites, man. You represented for the fat athlete because
I thought he was going bald, yo. What happened to that?
Tremendously athletic, but yo, you can't do that, man. You can't do that. A Jerry curl
going bald to a full-on curl on the top of your head.
Listen, man, you can do whatever you see. LeBron goes from bald to having a full head of hair every game, but yo, man.
And I'm gonna tell you
why. By the end of the game, it's no longer a full hair though. I think LeBron be sweating that out. At the front of his joint,
or
something.
I'm gonna tell you exactly why this is attention beyond just the fact that he's rocking a Jerry curl and it's damn near 2016. Do you recall prior to James Harden getting a lot of the attention for the beard, Baron Davis was actually that guy that kind of got attention for the beard. He was the big beard rocker outside of our hometown and home city of Philadelphia. And James Harden usurped that. And so Baron was sitting at home trying to figure out what he could do to move the needle. Yeah, I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to take it back to Soul Glow. No, man.
I don't know if anybody can top that, though. Is Iman Shumpert in the crib like, yo, I'm going to top that? Is he going to come out tonight with, a Gumby? Or I don't know how you top that. I mean, unless you go get an Act Nicholas haircut. How is she going to top that? Anyway, man, FOH Baron.
Done talking about the Jerry curl.
More or less. Yo, listen to this story, right? The heir apparent to the Denver Broncos organization tried to sweet talk his way out of a domestic violence charge. Now, the son of the owner, Pat Bowling, was a domestic violence caller, 911, and my man tried to grab the phone and talk to the operator. First of all, he tried to hit her with the You know what I mean? I'm the owner of the Broncos. Like, you know, you
No,
talking
you're
to.
like,
Yo,
no, you're not.
First of all, no, you're not. Yo, like, you're actually just you're part of the Lucky Sperm Club, for one. For two, he had, you know, she's like, well, why is it a 911 call? You know, there's nothing to worry about. My girlfriend is here, but she's leaving, but the 911 operator heard her like screaming in the background, and it was a big mess. But to me, the craziest part about this is he's not necessarily the heir apparent yet. He's one of them, and they were saying that he was supposed to be the one to get groomed. But he's bringing shame on the family now. He worked in the marketing department of the Denver Broncos, but who knows what's going to happen when you got these kind of stuff going on, especially in today's climate.
I got the transcript of what happened because, like you said, Jim, when his girlfriend tried to call, he actually brodied the phone from her and hung up. So the 911 dispatcher called back, and that's when he said, "This is the owner of the Denver Broncos." When he answered, that's how he answered the phone. So he said everything is completely fine. And then he informed the dispatcher that his girlfriend was leaving. So then they asked him, why'd she call 911 in the first place? He said, because she's crazy. And that's when she heard noises in the background. She said, if she's leaving, why is she screaming in the background? He said, because she's crazy. She's had 7 beers. She's 95 pounds. And she's being picked up by another male who she works out with. She's fine, and she's trying to cause a problem as the blood. He repeated this 3 times. As the blood. As the blood. As the blood of the city, I'm telling you right now, nothing is wrong, and she is leaving the house. He said, I'm sober. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of the city, a friend of the mayor. He was throwing everything out there. Everybody knows exactly who I am. I've been going through a lot because I've been taking care of my dad. She's leaving right now. Nothing is wrong. I love you guys. Bye-bye. And then he just hung up. What's wrong with you? Yo, needless to say, they sent the cops over there anyway and locked his dumb ass up. So yeah.
That man said, I'm the blood. Yo, that sounds like something young Jeezy would say. Like, yo,
I'm the blood city.
He is the blood of the city.
That's like a Styles P bar. Like, yo, I'm the blood of this city. Like, that was, yo.
That's how I introduced myself.
But then, he said, I love you guys. Bye-bye. And just hung up. Hey, come on, yo.
How is he not? Yo, first of all, he lied. He lied and said, I'm sober. I'm not. Nah, you don't say that when you're sober. And you don't say I'm sober and then say I love you. Bye bye. Come on, dude. You need more people.
So he was released. He was released this morning on $1,000 bond. What's wrong with you, man?
What's wrong with Ian, man? I don't even know what to say about that, man. Listen. We gotta move on to the next story, man. But I want the listeners to know that I'm the blood of the war room, man. Like,
hey, the blood. I love y'all. Bye bye.
Anyway,
you guys. Bye bye.
Sir Charles Barkley, some people consider Uncle Ruckus. Actually, he made a move. He donated $1 million to Morehouse College. Maybe it was those whack ass NCAA commercials when he was in the car with Sam Jackson and Spike Lee, who are both Morehouse men. But he ended up donating $1 million to the college. That is definitely a good look. HBCUs need support. As a member of an HBCU, I thought this was pretty dope. Shout out to Charles Barkley.
Yeah, shout out to
I know you guys are also HBCU men, so what do you guys think about this?
I think it's good stuff because a lot of HBCUs can't function all the way right without donations from people. So, shout out to Chuck. Like Jimmy said, he's kind of looked at it in the black community these days as an Uncle Ruckus type figure.
Rightfully so.
Morehouse said, the Morehouse said the gift is going to go to their burgeoning journalism and sports program, which was initiated in 2007. So,
man,
it's going to go to something pretty good.
Listen, I respect it. On behalf of the HBCU alumni community at large, we thank you, Ruckus, for your donation. And I can't look. This doesn't erase who and what Charles is. I mean, I appreciate him as a basketball player. Obviously, I love him. He's probably my favorite power forward of all time. As a man, I think in a lot of ways, Chuck is still a victim of slavery. His mind is whitewashed. His mind is somewhat whitewashed. and he balances between Ruckus and Coon a lot of times. Now, there are times when he says his candor has allowed him to say what he feels, and I've agreed with him. There are things he said that I've agreed with, so I respect the fact that he, you know, at times he'll say whatever's on his mind, and some of that is good. You know, all of it is good content because we get to talk about it. But some of that has merit. But dude says some ridiculously. He does. Sambo.
But let me take another side.
And he dressed as a bullet.
He said, yeah, he did, but he said some outlandish things. But the one reason I could never call him a coon is because I never get the idea that he hates his people or he's looking down on his people. I think that Chuck actually believes some of this stuff that he's saying.
He thinks he's being honest. I mean, he's being honest.
But I always get the feeling that he loves his people and he's doing the right thing, although it's misguided. So I never can really call the coon thing. He's been called to the carpet even by his co-host Kenny the Jet, but I never really get that feeling. Some people when they talk, I'll be like, "Yo, you hate yourself. You hate your people." I don't get that feeling from Chuck.
Kenny the Jet wrote him an open letter when they worked right next to each other every night.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's scared.
Listen, also for those out there listening, as well as y'all too, I'm gonna send y'all this link. I read an interesting article on Chuck. I think it was called Leads. It was a long piece, but a pause. It was a long piece article, but it was about the guy actually did a whole expose on Chuck and some of the things he said. So it makes you look at it in a different way because he really believes this stuff and he means it from the bottom of his heart. But he's not a guy that like I would call a coon or Uncle Tom or those words that are thrown around often. I just think that he's misguided. I think that he is not really. He's kind of in his own world, meaning that he doesn't know what goes on day to day in the streets with the people. So his view of the world is a lot different. He says these things, you know, from a desk.
I can respect that. I can respect and understand.
I'm gonna send you the article. It's pretty good, but I just think that the one thing about Barkley, which was always funny, even when he was a Sixer, and Barkley, it's between Barkley and Iverson as my favorite Sixer, right? Because those were the guys as I was coming up. But he always was very philanthropic, but he took a position that I don't want anyone to know I'm philanthropic because then it looks like I'm doing it for that reason. But as I grow older, I kind of think that that's the wrong approach now because a lot of times people need to see that you're doing this because it, you know, makes them do more. Whether it's someone that follows you, looks up to you as another athlete coming up, or just an everyday Joe. But sometimes, you know, an athlete putting out there that they do that, even if it's not for that reason, you can kind of inspire others to do more. So, but anyway, shout out to Charles Barkley.
Yeah. We disagree, but we'll have to do a roundtable on that, Jimmy. We totally disagree.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking even like I see where Jimmy is going with that because, you know, people influence other people. I still couldn't bring myself to be that dude. But if we did feel the need to do that, maybe we just leak it instead of, you know, bragging about it yourself. You do the Jay-Z job. Like he got the chick on his payroll. What's his name? Dream Hampton. Anytime you want to get a message out, he have her put it out there. Like the whole thing with him donating money to the cause. We know you was leaked by you. To coincide with the time he was in the battle with Nas and he had a leak. Oh, Nas don't write his own lyrics. Like we know it's you. But at the end of the day, it's still the bottom line is the information gets out there. You know what I'm saying? So, but shout out to Charles Barkley, man. He's an interesting, polarizing figure that people. Exactly. So let's move on, though. It's time to give some birthday shout outs. Dev, let everyone out there know who is having a birthday. Yes, sir. Birthdays, as usual, brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Do you or your business need a custom website? Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom website solutions, you need Digital Extreme Technologies. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence, top quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. Financing options are available, so visit digitalextremetech.com or call 267-205-4203. And when you talk to them, be sure to tell them that War Room Sports sent you.
My birthday, yay!
All right, from Major League Baseball, Andy Lee turns 32. Chuck Hayes, a former member of the Houston, y'all remember the 5 minutes when Chuck Hayes was actually all right? It was about 5 minutes.
I know that this age is wrong. I know Chuck Hayes was 33 about 15 years ago. Look at that man and the way he walked, and look in the face, man. Come on, not 30.
Yo, Chuck Hayes turns 33 today. Another MLBer, Jose Reyes, turns 33. The one who many think is the best player in the WNBA, Diana Taurasi, she does have game. She turns 34 today. Shout out to her. Nice. Stephen and Joey Graham. I didn't even know these guys were twins. NBA dudes turn 34. Brock Marion, former Cowboy, turns 46. The great Joe Cool, Joe Montana, turns the big 6-0 today. And we like to give a rest in peace shout out to everybody in the NFL's dad, or at least, every guy he's ever coached thinks he's their dad. Vince Lombardi. This would have been his birthday. He was born June 11th, 1913, and he passed September 3rd, 1970. So we'd like to give a nice big War Room salute to all of these folks on their birthdays.
My birthday, yay!
All right, and before we move on,
real quick, guys. I just want to say rest in peace to Dusty Rhodes, yo.
Oh yeah, Dusty Rhodes.
Yo,
man.
no doubt.
Damn, the American dream. Rest in peace. Damn. Yeah, that was hard news today for anybody who grew up with wrestling in the 80s. WWF. I'm not talking about WWE. I'm talking about WWF. But anyway, before we move on to these hot topics, you guys make sure you check out our website. That's warroomsports.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for the War Report. That's our newsletter. Click on the Contact Us tab to send us a message about our company, our show, or to inquire about sponsorship and advertising opportunities, or joining our network, as Jimmy told you guys earlier. For general inquiries, email us at info@warroomsports.com. While you're browsing the site, click on the memorabilia tab, buy War Room Sports merchandise, click the blog tab, read our latest articles, click the respective icons and tabs to like our Facebook page, to follow us on Twitter, to subscribe to our iTunes podcast, to watch our webcast at War Room Sports TV, to listen to the WRS Podcast Network, and to download our free War Room Sports mobile app to get everything I just mentioned right there in your pocket. Join the JW Philly Realty chat room right now during the show at blogtalkradio.com/the war room. To enter the chat room, just sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't want to create an account, you don't have to. You can sign in through your Facebook or Twitter accounts. We know you have those. And while you're at it, click follow so you can get updates and reminders about the show. We'll be taking questions and reading posts from Facebook, Twitter, and the chat room during the show. If you want to call in and speak with us, make sure you dial that Digital Extreme Tech hotline. That is open right now. We're going to be talking about a few things before we get to the NBA Finals, though. So if you want to talk about the NBA Finals, give us another 15, 20 minutes. But that number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. And if you're already listening from your phone, just make sure you press 1 if you want to talk to us.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is Jamel Hill, the Hers from His and Hers on ESPN2. And you are in the War Room on the War Room Sports Podcast Network.
Yes, you are. Jimmy, let everybody know who these hot topics are brought to them by.
Absolutely. If your schedule is too hectic to read as much as you want, try audiobooks and kick back and let someone else do the reading for you. All you have to do is visit Audible and sign up for your free trial. That's audibletrial.com/warroomsports. You can actually get a free audiobook. You don't have to keep the service at all, but you get a free book on us to see if you do like the service. A lot of great books out there. I actually finished 2 books this week. I finished the book Insurgent, which was the second of the Divergent movies, but I didn't see the movie yet because I wanted to finish the book first. And actually another good book I read, and you guys may laugh at this, I read the autobiography of Ice-T. Now, I'm a huge hip-hop fan, but Ice-T's story is banoodles in terms of his upbringing and all that. So it was a great story. But I finished that book as well this week. Yo, he was a real life pimp. My man was a real life burglar.
He's a gangster
rapper, gangster rapper, and now he's the longest running detective on TV as an African American. Like his life is just crazy.
And he pays homage.
And by the way,
he pays homage to Schoolie D as the first gangster rapper. Shout out to the Crip.
Yo, he does it in the book as well. And also shout out to Darlene. I know people may not remember who Darlene is, But Darlene was a chick on his album cover back in the day, and I think I lost a lot of hand babies to Darlene.
I remember. I remember Darlene. Yo, I remember Darlene.
Yes, you do.
Darlene was on the album cover. She was on the album cover with the one piece on, but that was enough pieces. Like, damn, I remember.
I lost some hand babies to Darlene. Rest in peace, all the hand babies I lost to Darlene.
I lost some.
But listen, though, yo, with that being said, audibletrial.com/War Room Sports, and as I say every episode, the greatest audio book ever made is Mike Tyson, his biography, which you can get free on us. So shout out to Audible for supporting War Room Sports in the War Room.
Yo, I just looked up the album cover for Power. Darlene, it's a one piece, but it's missing a lot of material, so you can see everything. She got a pump shotgun in her hand too.
That's right.
And she was also on the cover of Ron Pay's when they were in the car. She had a two piece in that one.
Yo, but the one album, Power, that album cover is a classic cover. Like, I don't think I remember that for the rest of my life. I remember when I saw that, yo, instant chubby.
Yo, Jimmy gave a shout out to Darlene. You know her name. All right. Speaking of shout outs, man, none of us are, big in the horse race game. So we want to give a shout out to a horse and its jockey and its owners. American Pharoah won the Belmont Stakes to become the first Triple Crown winner in 37 years. The last time it was done was affirmed 37 years ago. The crazy part, fellas, I actually missed it. And I was in Dallas. At the time, I was in the hotel room doing absolutely nothing, and I missed it. And y'all know every time we talk about this every year, I always get caught up in that because I really wanted to see a horse do this. And every year, somebody, a horse wins 2 out of the first 3 races, and the hype starts to come, and then they get dogged in the 3rd race. And this time, it actually happened. And I was sitting there, I think I was watching like a Seinfeld marathon on TBS or something. So shout out to American Pharoah and his owners and his jockey.
Yeah, I actually saw it. I saw it go down. I saw him do it.
Was it dominating? Did he dominate?
Yeah, he didn't win it wire to wire, but on that last little go round,
he kicked it in.
He definitely pulled away, and it was. You could feel the energy. I was in Baltimore when it happened. I mean, people were going crazy. People were literally going crazy. They were very excited by it. So I kind of got excited, even though I don't know the first thing about.
I was about to say you could tell we're not horse racing enthusiasts because Bielsa said on that last little go around, there's a go around.
Even though it was one time on the track.
But the crazy thing is, I grew up in the house with a horse racing enthusiast. Like my uncle, that's all he did was he was either down in the basement watching horse racing, or he was at the track. And if he wasn't doing either one, he was sitting somewhere reading his racing form, getting his gamble on. So I should know way more about this.
I personally am not into the sport. I don't like the sport. And here's the thing, like, my life is crazy too. I actually owned a horse before, not a complete horse. I actually bought a racehorse. I had a fractional share of a horse. But
a complete horse. Jimmy just owned the hoofs.
No.
He owned the hoofs.
Pretty much, I was on my Jay-Z joint. I had like 2% of the whole horse. But and the only reason I did it though is because I thought it was fly to actually go to the track.
To say that you owned the horse. We know why.
Yeah, that is fly. You go in your fedora and your little linen suit.
Yo, I keep it a bean. My fractional share cost me like 5 racks, but at the time, I was like, I want to sit in the owner's box. But I'm not into the sport at all. And the one thing that bothers me as someone who loves sports overall is when they call the actual horses athletes. That bothers me to no end. Like, I remember ESPN count down like the greatest athletes, and they had like Seabiscuit as one of the best athletes. Like, really?
I mean,
Seabiscuit and Secretary are great athletes.
What they do is athletic, but you can't put a horse and a human being on the same list.
Yeah, like, come on, be like, yo, that bothers me to no end, man. So it's kind of like,
not cool.
That really pisses me off, man. That really pisses me off. But anyway, man, shout out to them because
Jimmy owned the little white. He owned the little white spot on the horse's forehead.
Yo, but the funny thing is, I was doing the same thing as Mel was. I was fronting, like, yeah, baby, I don't know what.
Yo, I want to talk about the
front with him. I'm like, yo, Jimmy, get you kicked out of my homie. Get you kicked out of this derby, man. Come on now.
At the moment the horse won, they say its value rose from about 20 million to 100 million, and it actually has a career as a gigolo, because going forward, the horse gets paid anywhere from 200 to 300,000 to run pipe into female horses to try and create another champion. So my man
is smut horse now.
Retire. He gets to retire into male horse prostitution, and then based on that revenue generation, they anticipate him being worth about 100 million.
Ew, why it's so hot in here, man? The air is on.
My man said horse prostitution.
He said run pipe and the other horses, though. Come on, man. Y'all killing me right now. All right, so shout out to everybody involved with that. Triple Crown, it's a big deal. I mean, that's why it hasn't been done in 37 years. So it's definitely a big deal whether you're a fan of the sport or not. All right, the Stanley Cup Finals, you know, it's tied up at 2 games apiece right now. The next game is Saturday in Tampa Bay. That's Game 5. If it goes the full run, Game 6 will be in Chicago on Monday. Game 7 is scheduled for Wednesday. There's not a lot of things in sports that's as intense as playoff hockey, but for some reason this year, man, I'm just not feeling it this year. But I mean, so far it's been a really good series, but I don't know. I just been out of it altogether lately, but I'm just not feeling it that much this year. But hopefully before the series is over, maybe on War Room Sports TV or something, maybe we can get Greg Wyshynski, Puck Daddy from Yahoo Sports, to come back on with us and give his impressions and analyze the series a little bit more for us. All right, so we talked earlier about the Fallon Fox situation. We have a couple more things in the LGBTQ community that have popped up. This Brittany Griner thing, we've been kind of meaning to talk about this for the past 3 weeks, but we just really couldn't get to it. This situation has come to a boil. Remember a few weeks ago, the topic was before they got married, they got into that little domestic dispute. And I'm talking about Brittany Griner and Glory Johnson. And they got married anyway after the fact. Nobody really knew what the altercation was about. So a month later, Brittany Griner is filing for an annulment of their marriage and saying that getting married to her was a huge mistake and she felt like she was under pressure to do so. Side note, Glory Johnson is now pregnant and expecting a baby. And if you thought that this was something that they planned together, because, you know, gay female couples do this sometimes, they get a donor and do whatever. Think again, because that's not the situation. Brittany Griner was in an interview with ESPN the other day, and she kind of broke down crying. It was emotional for her. She said the pregnancy came as a surprise to her. Now, the ironic part about that, guys, we talked about this off air, is that Glory Johnson maintains that she's not gay. And she's saying she's never been attracted to a woman before. And Brittany Griner was the first one, and she ended up marrying her, even though it only lasted a month. So, I mean, if I'm putting 2 and 2 together here, I guess this might be a little bit of wild speculation. But if Brittany Griner didn't know about it, then obviously Glory Johnson was still doing her thing with the men on the side.
Glory Johnson was giving up her glory hole. I don't know really what to make of this. If it's not voluntary, if they didn't kind of put this together themselves, then that means that she had a boo thing on the side. And, you know, he was doing his thing.
Because Brittany Griner, she's being real vague about what's happening, because she's saying she's still in the program for, like, you know, that she had to go through after the domestic violence charges. She's being real vague about what actually happened, but do you think there's any chance that the domestic dispute they had something to do with either Glory Johnson cheating on her or, becoming pregnant, because she said she felt that there was pressure to marry her after that, and she felt that it was a mistake. So maybe she meant knowing what she knew. Maybe she shouldn't have done this.
Yeah,
I got a whole new story for you, Dad.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
How are y'all going to act? How are y'all going to act when a baby comes out and the baby is Brittany Griner?
I'm going to act like I knew it all along, because we've been talking about that for like 4 years now. But no, but let me ask you guys a serious question. And this is what we kind of was, trying to get to for the past 3 weeks. Now, domestic violence has been big in sports recently, starting with the whole Ray Rice situation. And we had, the other things that went on in the NFL with domestic violence. Do you guys think when the shoe is on the other foot, when it's women being the aggressors, whether it's against other men, women, children, or whoever, do you guys think there's a double standard as to how it's looked at and how it's perceived because they're women? Because they're not getting the same kind of strife that Ray Rice is, nor is Hope Solo getting the same kind of strife. And I'm not complaining because Ray Rice made his own bed, but I just want to know if you guys think it's a double standard.
Hope Solo was a domestic terrorist, beating up her sister and her nephew. Had an attitude with the police when it happened. She was threatening the police, talking about she knocked him out. Sounds like she has an anger issue just all together. Now, white privilege is one thing. I was going to say something about that, but at the end of the day, Dev's talking about from the standpoint of sexism. Now I sound like a white person. This reverse sexism. But anyway, it's definitely true, Dev. These definitely are looked at different. Because the whole Brittany Griner situation, I haven't really heard any much about it. And then again, a lot of us don't even care about female sports either, so that's another thing.
It's a double standard, and there's only about 76 people globally that watch WNBA games. And then besides that, the actual games are used as LGBTQ rallies. So the priority at a WNBA game is, to get together, the fellas to kind of get together. But what I will say.
Can I quote you on that?
Yeah, you can quote that. What I've noticed is there's a disparity in treatment because there's the perception that Ray Rice is a grown-ass, highly trained NFL athlete who can probably bench somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 pounds. So when he hits Brett Griner about the same strength as Kevin Durant when he came in the league. When Ray Rice hits a woman, there is a different damage level than probably when Brett Griner hits a woman. Now that factors into people's perceptions. The issue is, I guess, violence really across the board should be treated as a negative, regardless of the strength of the individual who's perpetrating it. So I think when we saw what Ray Rice did, it's like, wow, how can you do that? Look at the strength of the individual committing the act. And with, Brett and Glory Hole, it was more of just, that's two women catfighting. I don't know that it's fair. I don't think that it's right. But I have to be honest, myself, I don't subscribe the same negative to it. I just don't. Two women fighting, to me, isn't the same in my mind, even though I know violence is wrong, period. I think it should be treated as though violence is wrong across the board. But I even myself, socially, I'm conflicted.
No, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to get your brother's opinion on that.
That's because you're a sexist, B. Austin.
That could be the case. That could be true.
All right, so have another thing that's, kind of closely related to this. Bob Costas kind of took, he took offense a little bit. I don't know if I want to say offense, but he definitely fired some shots at ESPN because they plan to give the Arthur Ashe Courage Award to Caitlyn Jenner. He called it a crass exploitation play. He was on the Dan Patrick Show, and this is actually what he said. He said, I'm pretty sure they could have found someone, and this is not anything against Caitlyn Jenner, who was much closer, actively involved in sports, who would have been deserving of what that award represents. That's not to say it doesn't take some measure of personal courage to do what Caitlyn Jenner has done. I think every year we look across the landscape of sports and we find prominent people and kids in high school and amateur athletes who I think more closely fit the description of what they're looking for or should be looking for there. I think this is just a play to pump up audience, the way lots of things are put on television to attract eyeballs, not because of the validity, but because of whatever the kind of gawker factor it is. Do you guys agree or disagree with the facts of that? Okay, I guess that means somebody totally agrees. So you guys think this is just a ploy for ESPN to basically get on a hot story and get some attention from it?
It's good for business.
ESPN sold out. Yeah, ESPN sold out about 15 to 20 years ago. And so they're about moving the needle and gaining market share. And they are early adopters of the belief that attention is the root of all evil and also the root of all profitability, even more so than money. So they tie them together. And having Bruce Jenner as your Arthur Ashe Courage Award winner, I guess brings more people to the table because it's a hot topic, no pun intended, as of now. And then, maybe there's some things in common between lifestyle with Arthur Ashe and Bruce Jenner. I don't know, but
hey, B,
it's definitely
one thing.
A needle
one thing I noticed during this conversation, I noticed that you insist on calling him Bruce.
His mama named Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
That is that pretty much your thoughts? His mama named Bruce. You gonna call him Bruce?
Yeah. That's
listen, John Skipper, the president of ESPN and co-chairman of Disney, he went down there and was like, "Yo, y'all want to keep it real? Go to Rawkus, cause we about to make this chicken.
We keep it profitable."
He about being profitable. Y'all want to keep it real? Y'all can go to Rawkus, man. That's the bottom line, man.
No, yeah, we gotta get that soundbite, yeah. Keep it profitable over here, but. No, yeah, I mean, I fully agree, though. I definitely think that, this is a move to exploit the hot topic. B. Austin has basically said it all, and I 100% agree. And, Caitlyn Jenner is going to milk this for all it is worth as well. Once the whole courageous aspect, that people are hanging on, once that's out of the way, just look out for the milking because it's coming. So, all right. So, shout out to everything going on in that community. The NBA has recently signed a $1 billion deal with Nike. This is kind of breakthrough because actually this time Nike actually gets to put their logo on NBA uniforms, and this will begin in the 2017-2018 season. It's an 8-year deal. The financial terms were not, disclosed. Although they basically saying that it's a rough deal of 8 years, $1 billion, which is approximately a 245% annual increase from the previous deal. So that's a pretty big deal. Nike gets to put that swoosh on the uniform. The commissioner, Adam Silver, said this partnership with Nike represents a new paradigm in the structure of our global merchandising business. As our exclusive on-court apparel provider, Nike will be instrumental in our collective efforts to grow the game globally while applying the latest in technology to the design of our uniforms and on-court products. In short, they gave us a Billy so they can do whatever they want with our uniforms. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think Adidas blew it here because there was some bickering throughout the course of that Adidas deal. The guys in Germany where Adidas is based, said that we are soccer heads and we don't really care about basketball. So that's basically the message that they conveyed to the league and to the U.S., which is fine. That's their prerogative. They inherited the deal when they bought Reebok, because Reebok had the deal initially. But I think they really lost out, because I think Nike is getting ready to go. But
yeah, because remember, Adidas said way back in March that they didn't want to extend. And I think because I want to repeat the whole thing about Nike actually putting their logos and stuff on uniforms. The league has never allowed a company to do this before. So Adidas, like Bielsa said, like they lost out. But at the same time, when you have a 245% increase from one company to the next, I think Nike probably earned, or at least paid for the right to at least get their brand recognized, and not just the fact that everybody who's a diehard basketball fan knowing that they make the uniforms.
Here's the thing. I mean, that means there does be terrible negotiators, for one. Nike low-key runs basketball. We know that. The thing about Adidas, like, their company has had so many missteps. They could have had LeBron, which would have changed the fortune of their entire company. They blew the deal with Kobe. Like, they just don't know what they're doing in terms of basketball. I mean, when they had, like, and I know you guys seen a 30 for 30 with Sonny Vaccaro. When he was there, they were making major noise with the T-Max. They signed Kobe, and once he left after the whole LeBron thing. He had them able to sign LeBron, which could have changed a lot in sports. But the same thing that B. Austin just said, they said about this is what they said back then. We focus on soccer right now. Like, who is this LeBron James? Like, how do we know he's going to be any good? You know what I mean? So they blew that. But Nike, man, Nike is a beast.
Adidas stands for all day I dream about soccer. So during these negotiations, they were dreaming about soccer, which that's the biggest market in the universe. And I realize that's a little bit presumptuous and arrogant of me to say, because we don't know what sports aliens like, but soccer is definitely the biggest sport on this planet. So they're going to double down on the $55 billion annual sport and fall back, I guess, on basketball and rely on Derrick Rose to be the face of, and John Wall be the face of their whatever. Yeah,
they're going to keep playing. They're going to keep playing and get passed by Under Armour.
They already got passed by Under Armour. Under Armour's number 2 in basketball apparel. But Nike buying this deal ensures that Steph Curry cannot win. The Golden State will not win the finals, because LeBron is Nike's number 1 dude and Steph is an Under Armour dude. So Cleveland's gonna get this. Yeah, Cleveland's gonna get this.
Yo, man, and shout out to Nike, man, because the amount of money that they're able to generate and how they dominate in sports is crazy. And I remember when LeBron signed that contract. What did LeBron get? Like something crazy, like 30. How many million per year was it that LeBron got for his Nike deal?
His re-up or the original?
On his per year deal, because he re-up recently, right?
I'm not sure what the.
I wanna say the total. Oh, go ahead.
What was the annual though? What was the annual?
I want to say it was 30. It's close to 30.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think you're right.
20, but we're gonna find that out for the people, because we're chatty patty, and we know you want to count another man's money. So we're gonna.
I thought LeBron was coming up later, because remember how we were talking about how he was happy that Kevin Durant got that offer, because he knows if they gave him that,
yeah.
To his joint. So I'm not sure what his annual is now.
But here's the thing, though. I think his annual is anywhere between 20 and 30. But I know that people were saying, like, man, that's a lot to pay someone for a sneaker deal.
30 million a year. 30 million.
But here's the thing. I was reading today the Forbes list in terms of the richest athletes. Yo, Nike made off LeBron alone about $340 million. So that's a nice investment if you ask me. Pay him 30 and we make 340. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway, with all that being said, man, Nike low-key runs sports, man. It's sad because with the power that Michael Jordan has, Michael Jordan probably should have his own shoe outside of Nike. The Jordan brand could stand on his own, but that's a whole nother debate. But shout out to Nike.
That's where I got to put the foot down and kind of back you up. Adidas is still right there with them because soccer is 3 to 5 times bigger than basketball.
You know we don't care about soccer though, man.
No, you don't care about that. I care about anything that's 50 billion or more. I care about. When it's 50 billion,
you fake care. Yo, you a fake soccer fan. You fake care about soccer.
50, hey, it's 50. It's 50
Let me hit you with the old dog. Man, nobody care about that right now, man.
We gotta do that. We gotta do that soccer some other time, man.
50 billion, man.
By the way, Tobias, we're gonna be talking to NBA in a couple minutes. We're gonna bring you on to start our NBA segment. We know you've been on hold for a minute, Tobias, but we got a couple other calls as well. But we'll be see you in a minute. But I know we got some more stories to talk about.
Let's do that. Let's just we just got the stat of the week, and then we can get into some hoops talk. Actually, the stat of the week is NBA Finals related. I had something else, but I kind of pushed it back. I wait till the finals are over because LeBron James is playing so beastly right now that he's setting new records every time he steps on the court. So this week's stat of the week it is LeBron James. In the first 3 games of the NBA final, he has the highest point total in any 3-game start to an NBA Finals with 123 points. And last I know, but in the last game, in Game 3, he surpassed Rick Barry with 122 points, Jerry West 118 points, Michael Jordan with 117 points, and Shaquille O'Neal with 116 points. Come on, B. You know LeBron is the dude right now, so they're gonna make a big deal out of everything he does. So shout out to the man for having the best 3-game start points wise of any NBA Finals and NBA history. So look, real quick before we talk basketball and get Tobias on, you guys can check out our website at warroomsports.com to call in and speak with us about any of today's topics. Make sure you dial the Digital Extreme Tech hotline. That hotline is open right now. That number is 323-410-0012. We are talking NBA Finals. If you want to talk something else, this isn't the time. If Tobias, I know you've been holding for a while, so if you want to mention something else, before we get started on the basketball, you can do that because you've been holding for a while. But everybody else, if you call in from here on in, we are talking NBA Finals the whole time. So press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just make sure you press 1 if you want to talk.
Captain, this is Michael Smith, the His from His and Hers on ESPN2, and you are in the War Room on War Room Sports Podcast Network.
Hey, Jim, let's talk some basketball, man.
Yes, sir. Listen, this NBA talk is brought to you by Fanatics. For the best in your favorite team's merchandise and apparel, shop Fanatics. That is easy. Go to our site, warroomsports.com, and click on that Fanatics logo. You can get all kinds of gear, NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and NCAA gear. I was in correspondence with them today. We got some special stuff coming up tomorrow. You can get your Dover jerseys. That's right. I said Dover. Dover. Anyway, but you can get up at, look out tomorrow. We're going to be doing something special with Fanatics. But and thanks to Fanatics for supporting the War Room. Let's just talk about the finals, gentlemen.
Let's get the homie on real quick.
Absolutely. Before we start, let's get Tobias on the line. We know Tobias got something to say. Chicago Bulls fan. Tobias, what's going on, good brother?
What's going on? Before I touch on the Roll Tide, we better start the freshman because Jake Coker couldn't be out of running back last year. Don't start him. But I'll touch these 2 quick things before I get basketball. First, rest in peace to the American Dream, Dusty Rose, man.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to say, when y'all talk about Brittany Griner, women, domestic violence, Hope Solo, I'm going to say something that people are afraid to say. No one is outraged unless it's black males doing it. Let's just keep it real. Kurt Busch is a NASCAR driver, and NASCAR is huge in this country. Kurt Busch bashed his wife's head against the wall. The same folks wanted Ray Rice and Ray McDonald, who no one knew who the hell he was till they called the police on him. Gone. We're making excuses for Kurt Busch. Oh, nobody cares about NASCAR. Please. It isn't about who cares about the sport. It's about right or wrong. And if these women's groups talk about they want equality, they should be equally wanting the heads of Brittany Griner.
Right.
And Hope Solo.
Equality means equal punishment, equal strife. For
when that incident that happened this past week in McKinley, Texas, when that superhero came out of his car and started doing tumbles before he started messing with the young girl and slamming her down. I just knew the feminists were going to come out and say something, but I was like, yo, I guess it's a young black girl. They don't care. I didn't hear the feminists come out. You know what I mean? And feminists go hard. Like, shout out to them for fighting what they believe, but they go hard, but they didn't say a word.
Yo, Jimmy, I got smashed on Twitter for 8 hours for saying consumer rape because a parking lot took advantage of me. But a little girl gets tackled and has a knee in her back for 5 minutes for no reason, and nobody said nothing. Come on.
Look, man. We gotta move on. You brothers are forgetting your place in American society. Right. You guys run fast, you jump high, you throw a ball, you shoot a ball, you sing, you tap dance, and you rap. And if it ain't that, y'all not that valuable. You're not valuable enough for the other good Americans of other groups to really stick up for and take, because you need to be thankful that you're free.
Yeah, with that being said, man, let's finish talking about these $40 million.
Yep, let's go.
Hey, Tobias, what you think about what's going on in the finals thus far, man?
First things first, I look at these finals with LeBron, I'm like, how the hell my Bulls didn't beat this guy this year? That's the first thing that crossed my mind. I'm like, good Lord. Here's the thing. Team Light Skin, they up here proving all the light skin myths true right now. What's the toughness here? Let's just be honest here. And can we say something right now that nobody wants to say? I know LeBron's a great player, but damn it, man. I know everybody say he coached the team, but can the guy Black get some credit? Because remember, Spoelstra got no credit either. Because at the end of the day.
See, this is how it goes. Tobias. When they struggle, it's all Black's fault. When they do well, when they are absolutely balling, Black gets no credit. That's all LeBron. LeBron's coaching the team. That's how it goes, man. People need a hero. LeBron James is a monster on the basketball court. And we're going to get into some more of this later about people and their hero worship, because it blinds them. It definitely gets in the way of logical thought, because everybody's in defense mode when there's not even an attack going on. Like, you don't even have to say anything bad about LeBron. You could just not go way overboard with the praise, and people are not satisfied. I've had Facebook conversations where in the post I said LeBron is the absolute truth, but telling people to slow down on making their historical judgments after 3 games in a series, like, I've been getting killed for the last 2 days because I'm not praising him the way everybody else praises him, which is to lose all dignity and praise him in a way that I find questionable. I'm just not built like that. For no man, I'm not built like that. Let's Jesus come back.
Tobias, what's funny about this is, like, the series is literally 2-1. Golden State can win the next 3 games easy, because Cleveland could easily be up 3-0, or Golden State could easily be up 2-1. Like, this has been a very excellent series. It's kind of like, I don't want to say being diminished, but all the talk is about, like, how great LeBron is, and we're missing the fact that this is an excellent series. Like, all these games are coming down to the wire. They're close. This is the best series we've seen in a while in the finals, and that's kind of like being overshadowed by Cole offense.
Tobias, man, what you're witnessing is the end of society, man. And it's clear to me, because people don't want to analyze the games anymore. They don't want to enjoy good basketball. They just want to place LeBron's ball sack on top of their head and allow it to warm them. That's all they're interested in, and give them thoughts.
You know what, though? I'll say these things. I'll say this real quick. First, Draymond Green has played himself out of a max contract. I won't give him a max for anything. Let him walk.
He's been up for a max contract, but that's another.
He should have been.
Yeah, we shouldn't have overrated it. I don't overrate him. He's doing what I expect him to do.
B. Austin been calling him a good bum. He been calling him a good bum for a while.
He's not a good bum.
But I mean, come on, man.
Harrison Barnes might have just played himself out of a job altogether.
I hate
But
you know what?
Basic
Barnes is terrible.
He's
Trevor Ariza is a lot different than trying to check LeBron, right? But one thing about this series, Tobias, this series has also made me thankful that there was no social media when Michael Jeffrey Jordan played, because I think I might have stopped watching sports altogether. You know what I mean? Like, because we were all told to be like Mike. So imagine if there was Twitter around when it was Facebook when Michael Jordan played. Like, oh my God.
And I was a huge Jordan fan as a kid. And the thing is that with LeBron, the thing that get me PO sometimes is, dude, when are these stats they making up become records all of a sudden? I never heard of a first 3 game stat. Or how they go.
He just made up a new stat. It's the first time anyone has scored 20 in 10 minutes, arriving 46 minutes early at the.
It's definitely ridiculous, yo. And like, yo, it's sort of like they want everything to be such part of history, right? So it's like they want us to believe that every minute of every game is so important. But yo, I'm telling you, like a lot of the sports marketing, man, is Mike's fault, man.
Hey, but Jim, the Trump card on social media for a lot of these stats that they make up, especially this 3 game stat. I've seen it in so many sports groups, and you have the groups where you got LeBron lovers and you got LeBron haters. 2 groups that I can't stand because they're both equally irrational. But the LeBron lovers, like, we're coming into these groups. You know how people say, they'll post it. They'll post this 3 game stat. Like, I'm gonna just leave that right here. Like you just posted something that said, like you just overtook like Kareem or somebody. Like, I'm gonna just leave that right here. Like, yeah, like, yo, 3 games.
Hey, you know what part that kills me though? It's like they just totally ignored this guy is gunning. But so is somebody like Russell Westbrook, who had less talent than Cleveland has. When Durant and Ibaka got hurt, had a gun, they criticized him. They criticized Kobe for taking a lot of shots, and he had to go for 81 when they're down 16. But how can LeBron get a pass of jacking up all these shots, having a low shooting percentage, the same way they killed AI for that? I don't care that Larry Brown was a coach of the year.
We can't hate on LeBron because at the end of the day, he's playing a masterful game, and what you're saying is really about what people's emotions tell them, or if they don't like a guy, then they'll use something to discredit him. If they like a guy, they'll ignore it. Now, the one thing in LeBron's defense, scoring, I would say that Golden State needs to do a better job defensively, but they're not doing a bad job because LeBron is inefficient in terms of his shooting, but he does so much else so very well, man. He's a point guard. And so that's where it looks a lot better than some of these other guys because they weren't doing much that was noticeable beyond scoring. So if you take 40 shots to get 40 points, but you're not getting rebounds, you're not playing D, you're not, blocking shots, getting assists, it shows, So that's really the difference. I've never been mad at a guy. If you got to take 50 shots to win, you got to take 50 shots. It is what it is.
You got to chuck it. I've never been mad either, but I understand Tobias is just asking, like, how come he doesn't get the criticism? But
they like him.
No, I mean, Tobias, I know the exact answer to your question, Tobias. Here's the exact answer. You said, why can't Russell Westbrook and all these other guys? Because they can't shamelessly sell products for corporations. That's what it all boils down to. LeBron has the ability to sell products. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Like, he sells products.
No, there's definitely something to that.
He's a safety girl that can sell products. Because think about it. Think about this. The way Kobe was treated pre and post Colorado was completely different. Because at one point he could sell more products. It's all about being able to sell products. The reason AI didn't get that, AI can't sell. Who the hell is AI selling product to? You know what I mean?
He's selling stocks now.
Other than that, But my point is, LeBron is able to push products across the entire world. So therefore, the way he's being judged, and now listen to me, Tobias, because I am a conspiracy theorist, right? He can push products for these corporations. These corporations are the same corporations who pay the NBA, and that's why when you look at how LeBron is crafted, when he's talked about by the guys during the game, I was laughing at Devin B. Austin was having a conversation. I was reading it about how they were talking about LeBron before the game started, and Dev was like, "Yo, they're going crazy," and I think B. Austin was like, "Yeah, Mark Jackson and them is like, kissing his ass," and Dev was like, "But I'm not even talking about them. I'm talking about Sage Steele."
The other fool.
The point is, everybody's giving LeBron a break before the game started. He's being portrayed a certain way because he can sell product. It's all about commerce, man. That's what it is.
For the network. Nancy, but that's from the corporate and the media perspective. I'm going to go from the fans' perspective because I'm sure, Tobias, that you hear people and talk to people and are on social media with people every day who's perpetuating the same double standard. And a lot of it has to do with what B. Austin touched on a little bit earlier, and that's the fact that fans argue with emotion. Like, you go into an argument like nobody can be objective. I was in a discussion on Facebook today where a dude told me to pick a side. Like, yo, I don't pick a side. I'm like, if somebody's the truth, I will tell you that, but they are not without flaws. I will tell you both sides. And I tried to explain to them, like, I'm the dude. I've been called a LeBron lover and a LeBron hater on the same day in different conversations. It just depends on who you're talking to. Because if you're talking to LeBron lovers, if you say anything that's not complimentary, then you're a hater. If you're talking to LeBron haters who are equally as irrational and you give him any sort of praise, then they're calling you a LeBron lover. So it's like when you're in the middle and when you're trying to remain as objective as possible, this is what you get from fans because they all argue with their biases and emotions. So most people who like LeBron James don't like Kobe Bryant. I don't know why, because the NBA and the media has contrived this rivalry. These dudes haven't played in a meaningful game against each other the whole time they were in the league together. Kobe's been on his way out for the past, I don't know how many years. They've never made it to the finals against each other like they always tried to hype up. So it's like you can't like one and like the other at the same time. So if you like LeBron, after years and years of dissing Kobe for being a volume shooter, when LeBron does it, it doesn't bother you. Why? Because you like LeBron, and vice versa. The Kobe's people complain about certain things, or they like certain things that Kobe does, and then as soon as LeBron does it, then they're bitching about it. LeBron gunning too. So it's all about emotion, because that's how sports fans argue. They put their emotion into everything and then try to tell you don't know what you're talking about because you don't agree with their emotional asses. So
we try and be the voice of reason, and basically we end up being everybody's pop. And what do you do when you're a teenager to your pop? You don't like your pop, so we wear those hats, man.
Hey, Tobias, who you got game for? Tobias?
Well, if David Lee gets more run and Andrew Bogut and Harrison Barnes just get told, "Hey, thanks for your meritorious service this year, but we gotta go a different direction," Golden State has a shot. But guys, I will close with this real quick. First, I believe Kyrie Irving's injury has been a blessing in disguise because they had to play this certain way and slow it down. And I also kind of believe LeBron is better when he doesn't have star players around him. I think but he likes playing with other people. But I believe that he's better when he doesn't have those star players around him because of how he plays the game.
I know what you mean.
He might be, but he doesn't. I don't think he has the belief in himself without that. But I think you're right. He might be better. He just doesn't believe in himself.
He gets to display more of his game when there aren't others around, and so you see these crazy feats because he is a tremendous athlete and tremendous talent. But what he's realized in his mind, and I think his team and Maverick Carter have told him, like, look, you will be a stat stuffer playing by yourself, but you won't have the championships that we need to take you to these companies and market these products. So if we pair you with other people that aren't necessarily going to overpower your stardom, but they do other things, you can defer to a Kyrie to score. You can defer to a Kevin Love to hit the boards and score some. And then, you facilitate, you look good, you score big when you want to, you chill when you want to. So we're getting this. This is the LeBron that you can see. But if he has to do this in a regular season, he would be dog tired by the end of the year, and he wouldn't make it into the playoffs. So that's kind of what it is. You get to see the best of him because there's nobody around. He can do everything. He gets to do everything.
Well, now, Tobias, I actually kind of agree with that because part of it is LeBron's personality. If he has another star on the team, a lot of times he'll defer to them even when he shouldn't because that's in his personality. Like, it's funny.
Like Dwayne Wade had to damn near punch him in his face, Jim, for him to take over the team. Like, yo, take the team.
Yeah. Dwayne, like, I don't even want these keys. Here you go. Like, I realize you're better than me. Like, do what you gotta do. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's not his personality. But when Kyrie goes down, he looking around at these dudes like, yo, you're undrafted. You came from like Australia somewhere. Like, I might as well just go out and just, play pre-Miami Heat LeBron ball. But
you look like Kid and Play got married.
All right, take it easy, guys.
All right, thanks for coming.
We appreciate it.
Real quick, let's get the homie Rob out in LA. Rob, what's good?
Well then, what's going on?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man?
Yo.
Man,
what up, fan?
Man? What you got to say about this series?
Man. I'm a time running errand, man. Can't keep, man. Too much to do, too much to see, too many things to go, man.
You already know, man. Who ain't got no business? But yeah, man, what's up though, man? What you think about the series?
Okay. There's a lot to say. First of all, Demi Amendola, he also erased a stereotype that like many European players that when they come from Europe. The thing is that they score a lot of points. They can play no defense. He can play defense. I'm not doing that. My fault. The boy who put it on Steph Curry. The boy put it on Steph Curry.
Dellavedova. Okay. I was confused. Like, wait a minute.
I don't know.
Matthew Amendola.
I was like, Amendola don't play no defense. All right, I got you now. All right, Australian boy. Australian boy.
I apologize. All white guys don't look alike. But anyway,
I know, right?
Anyways, I think the series, I didn't expect Kyrie Irving's knee to be that bad, but if his knee, but I'm surprised that, LeBron basically has taken over the team, and, I think that coach should just leave. LeBron is the coach. To me, he's like Bill Russell. He's like Bill Russell, and Bill Russell won a championship. He won a championship as a coach and as a player. So, yeah. What I think about the series, I think, first of all, Andre Iguodala, people say, oh, he guards LeBron. That dude ain't doing nothing, man. He's all athleticism and just no show. I'm sorry. It's just, I know some of y'all folks have to be mad at that I say that, but it's the fact, yes, he didn't go to the playoffs once, but they was like an 8th seed, so come on, it's not improvement.
I ain't mad at that. I can care less about that, but I would disagree that he's doing nothing. I think Iguodala, out of everybody there, makes it very hard for LeBron. LeBron is 5 times stronger than him now, so when he makes a concentrated effort to back Iguodala down, it shows like it seems to be easy for him to do that. And Iguodala goes flopping around because he's trying to get that offensive foul call. But at the same time, even when he backs him down into the paint, once he turns and makes his move, Andre Iguodala always does something to make the shot difficult. So I don't, he's going to score on anybody, and he does score on anybody. But out of everybody they have, I think Iguodala has made it really hard for him. You just can't put one player on him for the whole game. Especially Iggy, because he's not even a starter. So I disagree.
I can't. Here's my thing. I can't agree with that. Anytime you start flopping, that just that's just me.
I think that Dev is right. Like, no one person can guard LeBron. We know that, but you can slow him down. And what's lost in this whole thing is people are saying like he's doing this. The Warriors have a chance to win every game. People are acting as if like Cleveland is coming out and dominating the game and like walking over them. The Warriors could have won last game. They could have won the game before that. Like, It's not like they're just running over them. The Warriors are like, you know, I mean, the Cavaliers rather are barely winning these games. Like, so I mean, no one person can stop LeBron. Is good when you have multiple people to throw at him. So I wouldn't say that Iggy can't do anything. Iggy does slow him down a little bit, but I mean, they're still in the game with a chance to win the game. If Golden State wins tonight's game, all this hype over the last couple of days has been like, for what? Now we're starting a new series.
But do you think that the Cavaliers defense is that good? Because they're just stopping the high powered offense. Like Harrison Barnes didn't do nothing the last game. I don't know why they letting Andre Iguodala shoot the ball. I mean, I'd rather just put David. I mean, come on.
See, Rob, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where you go back to old cliches about playoffs in any sports. It's not about who's better. It's about who's playing better. So if your question is, can Cleveland really play defense that good? Throughout the regular season, I'd say no. Throughout the playoffs, I'd say no. But I'd say right now, they are dogging Golden State, and they're playing the best defense I've seen thus far in the postseason. It's all about when you do it, and I think they're guarding really well. I mean, there's been times where Golden State's players, Harrison Barnes, cats like that, who are just missing open shots, but the defense that they're playing is set up for those guys to be the ones getting open shots and not Steph Curry and not Klay Thompson and people like that. So the defense is working. They're funneling the ball to who they want the ball funneled to, and those guys are missing shots because they know that even if these guys are all right players in the regular season, they're not built for that. They're not built for the pressure that's happening right now. So I think Cleveland is doing a hell of a job on the defensive end. And we're going to talk about that in a minute too, because, once we get you out of here, Rob, I got some bars for everybody out there with this whole LeBron and Cleveland thing.
I mean, because people gotta get over this stuff. Like I used to be a big LeBron hater, but this guy grow up, man. Your boy's balling right now, and he's balling a little bit. I mean, people don't even point out inconsistencies on the defense end, which is very important. Like, your boy. I mean, I know your boy. Steph Curry had him tripping and stuff. So. I don't know. It's hello?
Yeah, man.
We listen to you.
Yeah. It's inconsistencies. I mean, even against Iguodala, I mean, come on. I mean, Harrison Barnes just doesn't finish. I don't know what happened to him. But
that's the point. The guys at LeBron's position aren't doing anything offensively to make him work. LeBron is not Allen Iverson, and I say that not as a basketball player. I mean nobody is Allen Iverson as far as getting tired. Allen Iverson didn't get tired. We've seen LeBron after some of these hard-fought battles are exhausted. Allen Iverson will have a battle like this, go eat a taco, and come back out and think there's 2 more overtimes
and then go smoke.
Yeah, so he's not that. So if they pressure him on the other side and make him work on the defensive end, then maybe you can slow him down, slow the onslaught down a little bit on the other end. Hey, but Rob, we're gonna get into this. Thanks for your call as usual, man. We appreciate it, and we will rap to you next week, good brother.
Peace.
Got it.
All right, yeah, let's continue that thought. I think they just need to put more pressure. I mean, it's easier said than done because Harrison Barnes is not doing much of anything. So you can hide LeBron on defense, and everybody out there don't go crazy. I'm not saying that LeBron is not a good defender, but if you depend on him for 60% of your offense, I'm talking scoring, assists, setting everything up, maybe even more than 60%. If you're depending on him for so much of that, you can't.
50.
You can't have him out there trying to play lockdown defense on the best player. I mean, some people took that challenge no matter how much they had to score. But like we said, LeBron's a big, strong dude, and he gets tired. He's not like these little dudes who just run around all day. So they have to do something. Man.
The Warriors have made so many mistakes that are so glaring that the average fan who barely watches basketball, why they didn't do this? And the thing is, I mean, you would think reading social media and talking about this series to people that Cleveland's won all their games by 30. That's what you would think. But it's still a very good competitive series. I mean, tonight's game is big on both sides.
Actually, Jim, total score, since they like tallying up LeBron's score, total score, Golden State has outscored Cleveland in the series. Total score.
Yep.
But that's my point.
Yeah,
but people are acting as if Cleveland's running away with the series. This is a very good series. And again, I picked Cleveland to win, but I see people acting like it's over already. It's just not over. If Golden State wins tonight, this is a completely different series.
Listen, my brothers, my gentlemen, we got to get into the X's and the O's and leave these casual fans alone, man. Let's get to the knowledge so that hopefully they can learn something and their children can learn something.
Well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Lead into that. I mean, something that you specifically want to talk about, B. Austin?
Well, salute to a War Room Sports supporter and Pierre Ashley. He posted on our social media page, or one of our social media pages, the 6 things that he noticed. I'm not going to go through them verbatim, but he said LeBron's doing enough shooting. The shooting is inefficient, but he's dictating pace and momentum, so that influences the game. Curry obviously is playing like a Charlie Batch. He's not playing like an MVP, and he's got to figure out ways to score without depending on that three-point shot. I mean, his game has expanded beyond him being a three-point shooter. Clay as well. Clay, when he came into the league, was a standstill shooter. He can go to the rack. He can post up. So get away from the three-point, and body language. Tristan Thompson and Timothy Mozgov have basically played bully ball with Draymond, which is one of the reasons I don't give Draymond a pass. I don't give him a pass, but I'm not as hard on folks as with Draymond, because I'm like, look, dude is a 6'7", 6'8" at max, small forward, playing the 3, the 4, and the 5. And they expect him to rebound. They expect him to defend, guard the rim. And he's battling around with Tristan Thompson and a dude that looks like Lurch that's 7'5". So, it's easy to bail LeBron out on the poor shooting. As Pierre mentioned, it's easy to bail LeBron out on the poor shooting when those two dudes are hitting the boards. Matthew Dellavedova, which my man Welvin pointed to, he's out of control with the defense and giving up his body and playing scrappy. Harrison Barnes is excrement, and
midnight is going to strike on him at some point. He's going to turn back into a pumpkin.
That's going to happen when he gets paid. You know, he's a free agent.
When he gets that money,
it's the highest seller on Fanatics right now. Dover.
Peep this, Dev. When he gets this new contract,
talk about it.
Next year he ain't stopping for nothing.
Harrison Barnes has to give his life back. Not his game, not his money. He's useless. He's out there useless. He has to give his life back. It's terrible. And then lastly, Steve Kerr has to manage the adversity a little better. Salute and shout out to Pierre, because I thought that his points kind of mirrored some of the thoughts that I had from an X's and O's perspective. I'd like to see them use Curry as a screener, and on the pick and pop, it's going to open up for the guy with the ball or a guy getting screened for, because you have to almost instinctively go with Curry. So both guys are going to, and we've seen it work before. They got to do that more. Steph has to go to the rack more and use that mid-range game instead of depending on low percentage shots to get them. They're always looking for the home run ball, and that's not the way you're going to win this series, man. Salute to Iguodala, who's playing a hell of a game and forcing LeBron into a lot of that inefficiency. He's doing his job. David Lee, we had a David Lee sighting. Here's my problem. David Lee played wonderful that game, but David Lee is not a better defender than I am, and that will get exposed if he gets extended minutes. He's great offensively. He will get you buckets. He passes well. He rebounds. But on defense, he's like a YMCA player, man, with goggles. He's terrible. What are your thoughts? What did you guys?
But who's he guarding though? I mean, it's not really a threat over there at his position unless they got LeBron playing the 4. But even if they have LeBron at the 4, they're going to put David Lee on him. So I don't know. It depends on lineups. They go small, then David Lee probably can't be hidden. But in a regular lineup, he can be hidden. You can just throw him on Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson can hit the side of a barn with the basketball, but he's tenacious on those boards. Yeah, he's tenacious on those boards, but anything else besides rebounding, Tristan Thompson's a bum. So
yeah, here's the thing about this series, which is interesting to me, is because Cleveland is up 2-1, and the crazy part is, you know who really hasn't played well yet? That's LeBron's treasure, yo. Like, shout out to J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert, because they really showed up. Like,
Melo's trash.
LeBron's treasure. LeBron's treasure.
And your man Shumpert literally looks like a treasure troll. Like, if y'all look back at the old treasure troll, John, he got the hair,
he's really playing
but he's winning. But you know what, Shumpert's winning. You see his girlfriend. I'm waiting for Earl. I'm waiting for Earl to have a 40-point game. I'm waiting for a 40-pointer. It's coming. It's coming.
Yo,
it is definitely coming, Paul.
I think the 3 for 20 is coming before the 40.
You do that, so you don't think he'll have another breakout game soon?
Yeah, it ain't gonna be 40, but he'll get 23 one of these nights. He'll get 23.
Okay. So tonight, just know everybody tonight that one thing we're gonna be looking for is LeBron James.
And if y'all don't get that, y'all just corny. Jim, I wanted to talk to y'all about something. I mean, we hit on it a little bit, but it's the way people are responding to this whole thing about LeBron and how he's played thus far in this series. LeBron is playing out of his mind. It reminds me of like when we hear somebody spit crazy lyrics in a rap song and Jimmy refers to them as, writing that song away from earth. LeBron is playing off the earth right now. Like, just whatever he's doing is just projecting itself back down to the court, and he's balling, literally. But it seems like when and it goes back to the emotion of fans and the media and how they want to frame things, but it seems like LeBron, he went into this whole situation with a built-in excuse, just like he also has a built-in hero story, because everybody's saying, especially after Kyrie got hurt, everybody was saying, well, LeBron has no help. No matter how any of the role players are playing, because a few guys have played well for 3 games straight, but they're still average players. And it goes back to me saying it doesn't matter what you are. It matters how you're playing at the certain time. Because somebody told me that Mozgov and Dellavedova are average players. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but they're not playing like average players right now. And this 7-game series, if it goes that far, is when you need them to play above their heads, and they've been doing that so far.
Yeah.
But an excuse that I'm talking about is the fact that everybody keeps talking like, and I'm not talking about Vegas odds or anything like that. I'm just talking about straight up basketball. People make it seem like the Cavs are so much of an underdog to the Golden State Warriors. Like, people are building Golden State up to be this all-time bunch just so, okay, if LeBron loses, then they have that excuse that he didn't have much help and he lost to an all-time bunch. If he win, hold on, B. If he wins, then he muscled them through and beat an all-time team with no help. So he has that built-in excuse.
Jamal, go upstairs, please. That's picked up by the mic.
So, I hit the wrong button. So what I'm saying is basically, I think people are going overboard either way on, what they think is going on in the series. Before the series started last Thursday, Golden State, their roster collectively had 0 NBA Finals game experience. Now, you know, some people lean on experience as a big deal. Some people don't think experience is a big deal. But pointing to a 67-win regular season is all well and great. But how strong is the NBA right now? I mean, this is a time when good teams don't even take the regular season that seriously. You have people resting players in the middle of the season against other good teams. Like, not just against bad teams. You have people resting people against good teams. You have the best player in the league taking off 2 weeks because the regular season is very long and it's just not that important because the bottom half of the league is so terrible that you're going to get wins anyway and you're going to stay, you know, high in the standings. So Golden State, it's impressive that they won 67 games this year, but does it make them an all-time team to the level where I read on a USA Today article today that if the Cavs pull this off and LeBron pulls this off, this is going to be the biggest upset in NBA history. Like, I'm just not buying the build-up for this whole thing. I read, and I can send that to you guys. I'm just not buying the build-up. It's just the narrative that they want you to believe, and it's the narrative that everybody who's a fanboy is going to go with because there's the built-in excuse if he loses. They were playing the 67-win number one seed, and if he wins, it's going to be the greatest feat that we've ever seen.
A team with no playoff experience, and I guarantee you, this conversation
how many times have they been past the first round recently?
Yeah, in a different context, Maverick Carter had this conversation with LeBron and calmed his nerves down and said, "Look, dude, you're cool because if you lose, we just blame it on the bums and tell them your supporting cast was injured. If you win, we're going to tell the world that you're greater than Kareem, Wilt, Magic, Michael, AI, Kobe, Larry, because
here's the
thing with Mozgov and Dellavedova."
If you remember when he came there, LeBron was like, tempering expectations. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was saying you got to give us time, be patient. I mean, he sounded like me talking to a young lady, like it's only going to be about 2 minutes. But, you know what I'm saying? So what you do is you undersell, you over deliver, right? So that's kind of what LeBron was doing since day one. And I get your point there. It's kind of crazy. I went online like after the day after the last game. It was just out of control. The first thing I saw online was like, "Yo,
the royal penis is clean, Your Highness."
It was nothing but a bunch of people this is swallowing LeBron. And one thing I wanted to ask you about specifically, because I found this hilarious. I was reading one of the conversations you were having about LeBron and Magic. And I just wanted you to like tell our listeners about the conversation that took place on our Facebook page about LeBron and Magic.
This took place on Facebook page or my personal page and personal conversations. Basically, I was having a conversation and people, just like Jimmy said, everybody was so excited after game 3, and rightfully so. LeBron James is playing out of this world, no doubt. But somebody made the comment that, something along the lines of the fact that he led them in game 3 to take the lead in this series. It's basically better than anything any veteran, any NBA legend has ever done. And that was just weird to me. I'm like, I know he's playing well, but it's been 3 games. And like, there we go again. We're making Golden State out to be this insurmountable obstacle so that taking a lead, not beating them in the series, but taking a 2-1 lead in the series is like the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life. And that's just so asinine, so prisoner of the moment. So one of the things I brought up, because somebody asked, okay, well, can you name somebody else who would have done this, with their star running mates being hurt? First of all, you guys know how I hate reckless, speculative arguments. It's easy to make statements like that because you can't prove it or disprove it in any way, form, or fashion. So they're asking, well, if Michael would have lost Scotty and Magic would have lost Worthy and Kareem and this and that, they wouldn't have been anywhere, like LeBron right now. How do we know that? It could be true, but it might not be true. But people base their arguments around wild speculation that you can neither prove nor disprove. So you think you look like a genius because you're saying something that somebody can't prove, because we will never again in our lives get to see if Magic, Michael, or any of these guys can do that. So I brought up the fact that, okay, well, Kareem was gone for game 6 against Philly. As a rookie, Magic Johnson scored 42 points, grabbed 15 boards and 7 assists to lead them to a closeout win against the Sixers back in 1980. A rookie. So I was promptly told that LeBron James taking a 2-1 lead in the series was more impressive than what Magic did as a rookie in a closeout game for the NBA title. I don't understand how that's even feasible. Like, we're talking, first of all, we're talking performances. If you go Magic's game 6 versus LeBron's game 3, the performances were wildly similar, especially numbers wise. But even if you think for 1 second, okay, what LeBron did was more heavy lifting and it was more spectacular, it was game 3. So really, by definition, there's no way that can be a greater feat. Magic closed out a team when most of LA and most of the NBA had chalked it up that the Sixers were going to win game 6, and they had to go back to game 7, hoping Kareem was healthy to close out that series. Most of the people agreed, but there were a select few who wanted to make that argument. But when you make these kind of arguments, people don't listen because they keep talking about the whole series, the 3 games versus 1, and then a lot of people keep alluding to, well, if LeBron finishes this off, okay, that wasn't the conversation. Because I believe if LeBron finishes this off, even though Golden State is not the 72 and 10 Bulls, if he finishes this off and he's still putting up numbers like that, like 42 points and almost averaging a triple-double, then I'm going to be hard-pressed to say I've seen another NBA Finals performance like that. But that hasn't happened yet. And all I try to tell people is to pump your brakes. LeBron is balling, and this may very well happen. And then Magic, what I'm saying about Magic won't even matter. But nobody wants to listen to that because you're not eating his balls right now. You cannot compliment LeBron, but you have to go where they're going with it in order for people to be cool with it. And I don't understand that. You can compliment him all day, but if you're not losing all dignity and pride in your compliments, you're not doing enough, so everybody has a problem.
Let me get my opinion on this real fast. I just want to say that this is a cultural thing, Dad, because it's kind of like we're force-fed to believe that everything we see is the greatest hit. It's kind of like we're kind of trained now. Well, not us, because we're cut from a different cloth, but people are trained now to believe that what's going on now is the greatest ever. Like, everything they're watching is a part of history. I really believe there's a lot of sports marketing and psychology going on. LeBron just happens to be the vessel they're using now. They'll throw him away in a couple of years, and then it'll be Andrew Wiggins, and it'll be the same thing over and over again. And the fact of the matter is, I think that the thing about LeBron is this. I like LeBron as a player, and I actually like LeBron in some of the things that he does off the court. People make it difficult to actually root for LeBron because, they jawbone him so much that you be like, they make it difficult to root for the young man. Because a lot of the things that he does on and off the court is very honorable. Like, I don't know if you saw this, and this probably was crafted as well, but Jim Brown was in the stands the other day. So before the game, LeBron walked up to where Jim Brown was sitting and started bowing before him. And of course, this was in several articles and all kinds of nonsense, And a lot of this stuff may be crafted, but LeBron James is kind of savvy in the fact that he, like B. Austin said, he has his handlers. And
he remembers to do that.
So they know, they know how to play on the psychology of today's sports fan. Today's sports fan is just different. I remember when I was coming up, and the guys who taught me the nuances of the game. You had to retire before they even gave you. They used to call Mike a bum. It took Mike 6 chips in retirement before they even gave him credit. It's sort of like we don't do that anymore.
Volume chucker. Exactly.
But I've seen people literally within the last couple of weeks turn on Steph. Like, Steph was being swallowed ungodly 2 weeks ago. Like, he was the greatest thing, this and that. And now, he's a bum. It's all about what's going on now. As B. Austin says, it's a microwave generation. But LeBron right now being the biggest, because LeBron, let's face it, he's the biggest athlete in all the sports. United States before B. Austin started being these soccer jabronis. But so he's the vessel being used by the powers that be to sell product, to make us believe that every game is a must-see because, you're watching history. I mean, do you guys see that these finals games are the highest-rated NBA games in the history of the league? So
no, I did not know that.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of selling this stuff. And people are eating it up because they're led to believe that this is history going on. After 2 games and 2 quarters, no one's ever put up numbers like this. I mean, they're literally stretching that far to make this stuff sound historic. They make every game sound historic. Game 4 is going to be historic. Like, come on, man.
There's a confluence of things going on here, and now as we dive into this, we start to sound like the old men, the fickle old men. But I gotta say it because it's a reality. It's my reality. It's my perspective. The game is a bit watered down, maybe more than a bit. It's a bit watered down, and you have to create situations where historic things are happening because they're not happening fast enough for the masses and for the media to sell it. We contrive it, we create it, we tell you it, and it's kind of sad because it devalues the things that are great, and some of those things get caught up in the wash. But this culture of immediacy, I've never seen people say this is what it's like. This is the greatest thing ever. Then it's done. Then the next day happens. This is the greatest thing ever.
But you're talking about the devaluation. Yeah. Like, I think by having these built-in excuses for LeBron, for the people who think that they're being diehard LeBron fans, I think they're diminishing his value a little bit because you're discounting. First of all, like, okay, Kyrie gets hurt, Love gets hurt. Okay, it's harder sledding, but this team is led by LeBron James, the best player in the NBA. Like, it doesn't matter what's on the other side. He always has a chance to win. I don't care what Vegas says. There's no way. There's not a team in the league that should be a heavy favorite over a LeBron James-led team, no matter who's on his team. He's that good. But you think you love him, and you're building these excuses for him, and all you're really doing is diminishing how good he really is. There's no way. Like, I picked Golden State to win in 7. I picked Golden State to win in 7, and the reason I said 7 is because I think Cleveland has a damn good chance to win this series. So, like, everybody can miss me with all that biggest upset ever. Come on, man.
Yo, man. Listen. I
looked at it real quick, Jimmy. Real quick. I looked at this and I said, Steph. I had some debates on social media, as you did as well. And I actually had to give the person who was opposing me that logic. I said, look, if you're that big of a LeBron James supporter, apologist, whatever sycophant, Richard Rider, whatever you want to call yourself, by pooping on Steph and Golden State, it's actually you're doing a disservice to your man. You're doing a disservice. I would want to build them up. And you got some people that take that approach. They overdo it and say Golden State is the greatest of the greats of all time. But I see all types of stuff in the hero worship category, man, to support LeBron. But Jimmy, what were you going to say?
I was going to say to Dev's point about that. If you go back and watch or listen to Court Vision, episode 40, the boy Jimmy, I'm talking to third person, he said that LeBron James is the best player in the world. And anytime you're the best player, Dev, the best player in our country at least. Anytime you have that, you have a chance to win. And my logic was, listen, if this is truly his time, and now we know Nike has the incentive to make it his time, he's going to play at a level which can actually be the better team. It doesn't matter who the better team is. You have the best player on the floor, you can always win. You can't say that in every sport. You can have the best player on the field in football, and you may not win. But in basketball, anytime you have the best player, you have a chance to win regardless of who the other 5 guys are. So shout out to the boy Jimmy from Court Vision, because that's exactly what's happening. He's playing at a level that he has to play at. If LeBron James didn't play at this level, they would have lost each game by double digits if he didn't play at this level. So shout out to him for doing that. But my whole thing is with this whole LeBron thing, this whole hero worship, Koloffin, I'm telling you, there's a lot of sports psychology going on. People just have to be smart and be independent thinkers. We no longer have independent thinkers. I laugh when I go on Facebook and see people literally typing word for word something that was just said on SportsCenter. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you don't know how to form your own opinion? Like, it's to the point now, like, I don't even watch that kind of shows and all that because, yo, you have to be an independent thinker. You can look at the games and form your own opinion as opposed to giving you all this garbage, which is nothing but them building up heroes to sell product to you. Let's face it, that's what it's all about. Form your own opinion based
Jim.
upon what happens on the course. All this emotion.
Jim, I see more cliches in a social media sports debate than I do with an athlete in a press conference. It's gotten that bad. It's really gotten that bad. People just say all this cliche stuff and think that means that they're knowledgeable about sports. It's hilarious, man. It's a riot. Like I'm highly entertained by the people that I talk to.
No, I'm very. Here's why I'm entertained, because I honestly want to give LeBron credit, because I think LeBron is so savvy that he knows the world we live in and he plays up to it. When they win these games and he falls down and acts so dramatic, that is the funniest thing I think I've ever seen. Like when he goes and sits on a scorer's table to do his interview, like he's so out of
and talks all and he talks all breathy like Olivia Pope's dad. Like,
my man is having
we're just running the ball. Like,
he's
killing
y'all. He has an FDR fireside chat after the game. Like, he's playing this up so well that it's like amazing. So he understands that the world we live in, and the world we live in is a world full of D riders, a world full of co-offers. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, and that's within art, within sports, within media. It's through the roof. And LeBron plays up to it. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, I'm gonna play up to it, man. Go to warroomsports.com.
That's right. But listen, this is what I tell people all the time now, because like I said, even if you're praising LeBron, it's just not enough, because you have to go overboard for anybody to think that you're not a quote unquote hater, which to me is nonsense. My 3-year-old son, his favorite player in the world is LeBron James. I'm his daddy. I'm his hero. So how does that happen if I'm not sitting in the house praising LeBron James in front of this little boy? Like, how does that even happen? Because he's a young mind that I can mold. If I said I hate that guy, he would be running around not knowing why, saying that he hates that guy. So he's his favorite player in the world, because probably at this point, I can't think of too many other people who are active in the league right now. He's probably my favorite player. But you guys know me. I've never been one, even with a favorite player, to not also point out any flaws that they might have. And y'all know from knowing me basically all your life that I just don't get down with the whole Richard Rider thing. So, and my son will never know that, because that's just going to be a world that's hidden from him. Like, Richard Ridery is just not a thing. So LeBron can be his favorite player, but it will never get to the point where, you can't criticize your favorite player. Like, I can criticize my brother if he did something wrong. Like, you don't have to always be 100% all in on somebody just because you like them. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because LeBron, part of the problem is some of these dudes don't have no dad at home anyway. Their dad just still he left to get milk 20 years ago and ain't talked to him. So you choose a dad like 15 years younger than you? I choose him. That's crazy.
I
mean, and shout out to Leroy McConnell. Leroy McConnell is in our chat room. He says that LeBron is like our first real life Truman Show. And it's some merit to that, because LeBron has been being followed and had the camera in front of him at an age that not even Kobe did. But the one thing I do have to disagree with is that, you said the same way Phil Mickelson was treated. And I don't know about that. And you said Jordan equals Tiger. But, the thing is, this thing is a little bit different to me, Leroy, because of where we are as a society and the influence of social media and the internet. LeBron is coming along at an internet age when even Tiger didn't have the internet the way LeBron does. So it's a whole different thing. It's going to be interesting to watch. Before we get out of here real quick, gentlemen, who you got in the next game? Be off.
GS9.
Okay, Dev.
Yeah, I think Golden State. I think Golden State will play with some heart and tie it up this evening.
Yeah,
they got
I think so too.
You know the greatest thing about LeBron, Jim, is that through all the hype that he came in with, he lived up to the hype and he exceeded the hype. Right?
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Absolutely. Nobody does that.
Give him credit for that. Give him credit for that, because nobody definitely does. I actually have Cleveland winning the next game. Then Golden State showing some pride and winning at home, and then Cleveland wrapping it up in 6. But anyway, thanks for joining us again, the War Room. Good people. A shout out to everyone in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, all the calls who chimed in to holler at us. Tune in next week, same time, same place, live right here on demand on the WRS Podcast Network. And we have a lot of great sports talk there. Hopefully, we'll be previewing Game 7 of the NBA Finals and much more. So until then, enjoy your week, and we'll see you right back here next time. Be sure to catch our conversations, Facebook, Twitter, at War Room Sports. Check out our blogs, webcasts, all of our social media links. Everything can be found at warroomsports.com. Until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance. We'll see you chumps on top.
Chumps on top. Stop dicking.
6 to 8. Yeah. War Room Sports. Y'all ready? Let's go. Stay in tune to Jimmy. Know the blueprint. Yo. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Doc Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Yeah. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like Magic in the box course. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip-hop scholars, pit stop for knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, DJ, Jack Beck, B. Austin. I'm Jack. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports. www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.